Car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to the Summit in Houston, Texas. NBA basketball for you tonight, the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. Let's take a look at the Phillips 66 Top Performer, brought to you by Phillips 66, the performance company. And coming off of his performance against San Antonio, the big three-pointer towards the end of the game to put it away for Houston, Matt Bullard getting extended playing time. He is really stroking the ball from the outside, but more importantly, he's driving inside with some acrobatic layups. And he's playing good defense, rebounding. His all-around game is about as good as we've seen it in a long time, Calvin. And I think if he continues to do that, he'll get more minutes from Rudy Tomjanovich.
Well, this is very true. Everything is about confidence. And one thing Matt has right now, he's on a roll. He feels the confidence to go out there and just play his game and get his job done.
Well, tonight we're looking at the Golden State Warriors, and the man many people feel is one of the best coaches to ever come down the pike. We're talking about Don Nelson, who just recently won his 701st NBA game, and he joins an elite company to do that. But when you talk about Don Nelson, you're talking about a man who has played in over 2,491 games as a player and a coach. So he has seen it all, hasn't he?
And the one thing he does, he very rarely changes from one day to the next. What you see is what you get. This is how he's approached his game.
I remember when he was at Milwaukee one time, he called me. He wanted to get another Nelson together for his Farm Aid program, Willie Nelson. So we called him down here in Texas. Willie wasn't too up on his pro basketball. He didn't know who Don Nelson was, but he did agree to go up to Milwaukee and get on a tractor with Don, and they drove across the state to raise money for the farmers. It's the type of guy Don Nelson is. He's community-minded. He's a very popular coach with his players.
Well, I was very fortunate as a player to travel around the world with Nelly, as we called him. And the one thing he is, he's just down to earth and basic, and he's the kind of person that you would invite home to dinner every night.
His former roommate, of course, was Don Chaney, and he says he's going to miss Don coaching the Houston Rockets, but that he thinks this man, Rudy Tomjanovich, can be an awfully good head basketball coach and maybe one of the coaches of the future in the NBA. And, of course, you know Rudy's record is now just 2-1. He's only coached 3 games in his NBA career, but he's starting to take a liking to him, and he says every day it becomes a little more familiar, and that's taking the reins. There's just so much more to being a head coach than being an assistant.
Well, he knew that a long time ago when we used to talk about being coaches. The one thing he said, people don't understand the intricacies of what you got to be involved in. It's just not sending players on the floor.
A lot of people forget he was a 5-time NBA All-Star, a good free throw shooter, shot over 50% from the field, good rebounder. Rudy was a good all-around player and had to work hard at being a good player, and so he certainly knows how to impart that to his players. The officials for tonight's game will be Dan Crawford, Nolan Fine, and Jim Kinsey. Crawford, Fine, and Kinsey, the officials for tonight's game. Tonight's starting lineups are being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Mullen and Buck Johnson, and Buck going to really have to work hard tonight to try, but he always plays Mullen pretty good. Thorpe and Hill, Alexander Olajuwon. Now, Billy Owens at 6'9" is going to be a tough matchup for Maxwell. Do you think they'll take Owens down low on Max?
Well, I'm sure of one thing. Owens is going to have to do something in order to keep Maxwell from attacking him.
That's a good matchup we'll keep an eye on. And Otis Thorpe in his 516th NBA game tonight. Otis will be favoring that left hamstring just a little bit. You see he's got it heavily wrapped. Maxwell starts it off with an outside shot that won't go, and Hill gets it out to Hardaway. And, boy, he doesn't waste any time putting it up. He misses. Rebound goes over to Maxwell. Olajuwon already underneath. He wanted to pass in a hurry. He'll post up on Hill. Has to pick him up now. Buck Johnson will stroke it from 18, and it goes in.
My good omen is when Buck comes out from right out of the starting block, and he hits those first couple of jump shots to get the Rockets started.
Buck never got into the flow the other night. He only tried 2 shots against San Antonio, but basically because Bullard was getting all of the minutes. Victor Alexander has a nice little game from around 14 and 15. You know, he reminds me a little of Duckworth, and we'll talk more about that. A big body who has a nice touch. He's not a real physical player yet, although he can throw that tonnage around a little. Olajuwon goes right by him. Nice pass to Thorpe for two. Beautiful pass by Olajuwon.
How often have we seen that this year, that the two big men working together, getting each other involved offensively?
Alexander will be used a lot like Portland uses Duckworth, and that's to settle out of picks. Now he goes inside, nice fake, and he puts up his second basket.
Now that's a little too easy. I think the Rockets are going to have to give him a little more respect of being a better player and to let him roam around that basket.
Kenny Smith has it rejected by Alexander. Billy Owens goes by Buck Johnson, misses the shot. Thorpe gets the rebound. Quickly out to Kenny Smith. Maxwell's down, but Mullen and Alexander get back also. And Kenny says, nobody pick me up, I'll shoot it. Very smart play by Kenny Smith. He let Alexander peel off of him, and then he shot it. There's Mullen, and I'll tell you what, one of the best pure shooters to ever come down the pipe.
Without a doubt. That's what you don't want him to be able to do, to turn that corner and face the basket with that left arm free. You're in trouble.
He was absolutely had a terrible game against Houston last trip in here. Otis Thorpe takes it up for two. Well, that's still the same game that we know of Otis Thorpe inside around that basket. And the Rockets lead it by two. We're off to a good start here. Owens back outside. Tyrone Hill will miss. Owens gets it for two. Well, when you got Hill, Owens, and Alexander, even though you got Owens playing a guard position, he's a 6'9 guard. There's Kenny Smith back outside again. Maxwell sets from 18. I'm really surprised Golden State's defense really collapsed inside and allowed Maxwell to get an easy shot. There's Hardaway for two.
This is a shootout for OK Corral so early in the game from the outside.
You don't need the shot clock. Don't even worry about it. 8:48 left. There's a pass inside to Olajuwon, but Alexander got a hand on it. Hardaway will pull the trigger. He goes to Hill for two. A couple little baby steps in between.
Alexander moves fairly well. Now, Olajuwon had him pinned underneath. He was able to sidestep and get around and steal that ball. So defensively, he has good awareness of the ball.
All five players have scored now for the Warriors, and a holding foul on Victor Alexander. Well, Golden State, the hottest team in the league, but the games have been close between these two teams. 6 of the last 9 games have been decided by 7 points or less. I hope they brought a lot of ammo here tonight because they're firing the guns. Here's Thorpe for two. Boy, they tried to take it away from him. He's so strong. Once his hands collapsed around the ball, it was all over. Billy Owens goes in. Call for traveling, isn't it? I didn't think anybody touched it. He came down with it. But apparently somebody from the Rockets must have touched the basketball. Owens over Buck Johnson.
One thing that Buck is going to have to do, he's going to realize that they're trying to get him involved early, so he's going to play a lot of one-on-one. So Buck is going to have to shade him over the top and not let him get that ball low where he can actually be close to the basket and use his ability to shoot over Buck.
Olajuwon, yes. Alexander looked like he tried to go around Olajuwon, and Hakeem used his off arm to hold him off. Hardaway with a three. He's up to about 32% from three-point range now. He misses. Go right into Olajuwon, and he looks for Thorpe, and he threw it away.
I like what Olajuwon does with that ball now. As soon as he sees that double team coming or whatever, he looks to where the trap is coming from, and he gets that ball over there.
Yeah, a couple of times they've used Thorpe's man to come over and trap Olajuwon, so Otis might be the recipient of some passes tonight. Good job of Olajuwon coming out to help on Mullen. Shot clock is down to 5. Alexander positions himself off the glass. Nice touch. Alexander with 6 first-quarter points.
And that was a nice repositioning for the shot. He got Olajuwon leaning, took one step to the left, and made a nice little bank shot.
Kenny Smith misses on the three. Mullen with a three-pointer off the front of the iron. Otis Thorpe kind of volleyballs it to himself. Warriors up by 2, 16-14, 6:23 left to play in the first period. Olajuwon, little jump hook. Won't get the roll. And Owens with another rebound. So he's off to a good start. 3 rebounds for Owens. Owens shouldn't be a rookie anymore. Hill from the side.
Like so many teams now, you got Owens playing the point forward position on a lot of the breaks. Bringing that ball down. Good ball handling.
Kenny Smith will bring it up and take a timeout. 5:52 left to play in the first quarter. And the Warriors are up by 4. Now a word from Phillips 66, the Performance Company. Warriors by 4 with 5:52 left to play in the first period. Tonight's standings are brought to you by America's Place to Go for Fish. Go fish at Long John Silver's. And you'll see the Rockets, no chance for that Midwest Division title anymore, but now just trying to make the playoffs. And for the Golden State Warriors, they're in a real battle with Portland right at the top of the Pacific Division. Phoenix 4 games back. So the Warriors have been shooting 60% in their last 2 games. They shot 60% against Dallas the other night, scoring 138 points. And in the victory over the Lakers the game before that, they shot 62%. 2 on the shot clock. Put it up. Olajuwon got rid of it at the buzzer. Buck Johnson. Owens knocks it out of bounds.
The one thing Olajuwon wants to be careful of, that Alexander doesn't force him out too far to receive the ball where he has to turn and face the basket. If he can stay playing within the painted area, he'll have control of Alexander.
Well, Buck forced it in. Hill denied it. Hardaway to Hill. Olajuwon blocks it, and goaltending is called on Akeem. Unfortunately, Nolan Fine was standing in front of Don Nelson when that block occurred, and Nelson talked him out of it, I think. Let's see again.
This is a good block. As that ball's leaving the hand, Olajuwon timed it perfectly. You can't get any better block than that. The ball is just releasing from the hands. He's not even fully up yet, and Olajuwon blocked it.
Well, you got to remember the official called it from midcourt. So he really didn't, he couldn't tell whether it was in the cylinder or not, so he shouldn't have whistled anything. And a makeup call on Alexander.
Still, you know, we think so much of life is almost scary. That's exactly what that was.
Unfortunately, Victor says, hey, why make it up on me? That's my second, and I'm going to be out of the game here in a minute. Oh, Thorpe, nice bounce pass to Kenny Smith, but Hardaway knocked it out of bounds. 5:10 left in the first period. Warriors by 6. Maxwell has been shooting over 50% in his last 4 games from three-point range, and he hits his first here tonight. Maxwell now has 86 three-pointers on the season. Mullen leads in. Hardaway tips it up and in.
Now that cannot happen. Kenny Smith is going to have to put a body on Hardaway low and not let him get a tip over his back like that. That's unforgivable.
That kid can do it all. There's Olajuwon back outside. Maxwell with another 3.
I think it's those new sneakers he's wearing.
Boy, he is sizzling. 50. He's become a 50% shooter from three-point range in his last 4 games, and Hardaway comes right back and burns Kenny Smith again. Hardaway with 6. And he bounced it over to Thorpe. Fast break. Mullen will have an easy layup for 2 at the other end. You can't make a mistake now. The Warriors lead the league in forcing turnovers.
Now, Bill, you hit it right on the head about making mistakes against a team that will capitalize on all mistakes. They just don't get the ball. They go down and get a score.
Houston now with 4 turnovers. Golden State has yet to make one. Otis Thorpe, beautiful drop step. Beautiful drop step for Otis Thorpe.
Maybe that Charlie horse made him mad because he came out ready to play basketball tonight.
Timeout taken by the Warriors. 3:42 left to play in the first period, and they're having a shootout here in the Summit.
It's time for Southwest Airlines Friends Fly.
Truck that lasts.
Stay tuned for the Pizza Hut Slam Cam replay brought to you by Pizza Hut Delivery. Just pick up the phone and enjoy hot, fresh Pizza Hut pizza during the game. We've got a hot game going for you. Between these two teams, in the last 6 games, the Warriors have averaged 124 points. Unbelievable. That looks like back in the old days. Maxwell's got to beat Mullen, gives it up to Kenny Smith. Boy, Kenny did a good job of reaching down and catching a difficult pass and still putting it up and in.
Not only that, he followed Maxwell to the basket. A lot of players would have stopped when Maxwell was out in front.
Mullen misses. Buck Johnson wants to get the outlet pass to Kenny. Can't do it. Now he does. Maxwell's underneath. Oh, and it's right off his hand. Mullen may have gotten a piece of it. And here he comes, the man from Lithuania, Sarunas Marciulionis, and he comes in for the center. And Bullard's going to come right in after him, so our super subs are in early. You've got to protect it, as we pointed out a few moments ago, against the team that forces the most turnovers in the league. Hardaway knows better than to challenge Olajuwon. Now he's trapped. Gives it up to Owens, takes it in for 2. Billy Owens isn't a rookie anymore. He's played too many games.
And I tell you what, from what I've seen, the first time I saw him against the Rockets to right now is night and day. This young man has learned how to play NBA basketball.
Hey, another thing, too, he's in shape. When we saw him earlier this year, he was a little overweight. I don't think he was ready for the rigors of the NBA, but he's in shape now and showing us why he was so highly regarded. Down to 3 seconds. Buck Johnson puts it up, rims it out. Ball is loose in the hands of Hardaway. Fast break. Warriors. Tyrone Hill takes it up for 2, and he smacked Maxwell in the mouth for good measure. Tyrone Hill has 8 points, and he's got all 8 points, but just hanging around the basket.
Opportunity baskets, just running the floor, and you know, anytime you play with a Hardaway or a Mullins and you get wide open, they'll give you the ball.
6-point lead, a push from behind by Tyrone Hill. And now Matt Bullard will check in for Olajuwon. Check this lineup.
Well, this is going to be the speed beating core out here right now.
Well, you're going to have Thorpe playing center, then Bullard and Buck. Kenny and Maxwell. Marciulionis is on Maxwell. They're going to spread the floor. Maxwell taking the school.
Well, the one thing that they did, Rudy T called open, which means to spread the floor, get the middle of that paint area where they can use their strength, go to the basket.
Now they do the same for Hardaway. He misses and Owens follows. Well, the problem with everybody chasing Hardaway to the basket, that left the rebounding open. Maxwell dribbled it out of bounds. Too many turnovers. That's 6 turnovers for Houston. Still a big goose egg for Golden State. 32-26, Warriors, 117 and counting. Hardaway inside, pass by Owens to Hill.
Let me tell you something about this Owens. You talk about confidence. Right now, he thinks he's with the Harlem Globetrotters. He's getting the pink there, and he's doing the Metal Arc women.
Well, they're playing him at the post now. You know, they had him at center. They started him at guard. He's played everywhere. He wants to. Bullard back outside to Kenny Smith. Kenny back to Maxwell. 3 on the shot clock. Buck Johnson. You know, there aren't any fixed positions for Don Nelson when you think about it, though. These guys play everywhere, all over the court. Hardaway with a 3, and he continues to scorch.
It's amazing what you can do. You have the ability, if you're playing in a system that is tailor-made for your open court game.
Kenny Smith fires for 3.
3 points, Kenny Smith.
Well, wait a minute. I thought Nolan Fine put his arm up. He put his arm up. And it's 37-30. Hardaway puts up another 3. Misses. Owens all over the back of Bullard. And it'll be Houston's basketball. And at at the buzzer. Maxwell puts it up, and it won't go. Well, two hot teams in the Summit right now, and that's indicative of the score as we finish the first period of play. The Warriors 37, the Rockets 31.
Enough alone.
Couple of hot shooting teams dueling it out in the Summit here tonight as we head for the second period. Tonight's first period summary is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Tyrone Hill with 10, Maxwell with 10, and look at the shooting percentages. The Rockets out shooting the Warriors by 3%, but the turnovers, that's the difference right now. The Rockets with 6, the Warriors with none. But watch the Warriors move the ball and watch Billy Owens inside.
Well, the one thing that you can be assured of right now is that you're going to have to guard your man when Billy Owens has the ball, because he'll find the man going to the basket. This is an excellent pass. I mean, he sees the floor, he knows where his teammates are located, and he gets the ball right pinpointing to the man.
And that's really all that Tyrone Hill has done, is just go to the open spot. Now, Maxwell has created a lot for himself as indicative of that layup. So Vernon now will sit down. We'll have Avery Johnson and Sleepy Floyd in the game. Hardaway will stay in with Marciulionis. And that's the points off turnovers, and that's a big one right there. I'll tell you, I'm interested in seeing this matchup. Here's Owens and Bullard, but this one right here, Marciulionis. Bullard giving Owens a lot of room. Knocks it away. Now Owens drives. Missed it. Otis Thorpe with a rebound. Boy, Owens was right there at the rim and couldn't get the roll. Avery Johnson goes into Bullard, and he put it up on the wrong side of the glass. Basket's on the other side, Matt.
I think he lost sight of where he was on the floor, Bill. The one thing that's going to happen right now, you can be assured that Hardaway is going to try to take Avery down low and post him. He's going to move the ball.
Mullen with a beautiful pass to Owens. Boy, they look for each other. They're so unselfish.
My goodness, what a fine pass.
Well, you know, look at them, though. You know, Hardaway's your point guard, but Owens and Mullen could be. And a steal, Hardaway. Bad pass, Bullard. To Mullen. Mullen for two. 41-31 now, 10-point lead. Avery Johnson, good return pass from Otis Thorpe. I'll tell you, the shot clock can't even get started. And a one-shot foul is called on Buck Johnson.
That's his first personal foul,
First team foul of the period. And Vincent Askew will check into the game for Tyrone Hill.
The Rockets are going to have to be very careful offensively that they start to get some shots out of their possessions, because this is going to become a situation that they're going to put themselves in a hole now that's going to hurt them in the fourth quarter.
Mullen from outside, he misses. Owens gets another rebound. Marciulionis pulls up and fires for two. Well, Floyd was giving him so much room.
Yeah, that's a difficult matchup for Sleepy, for the fact that he's got to play Marciulionis for the outside shot.
And going to be a defensive foul on Hardaway. And now Jamerson will come in and Thorpe will come out. So you got Bullard, Olajuwon, Jamerson, Avery Johnson, and Sleepy Floyd. And you still got Owens out there with a smaller man on him. You know, Golden State does as good a job of denying you the ball on inbound plays as any team I've seen.
They sure do, Bill. They play that passing lane.
Jamerson misses. Mullen with a rebound. Hardaway goes right by Avery Johnson for two. Well, he squatted down like he might shoot a three, and because he has been doing that so well, Johnson came out and took the face. Now it's a 12-point lead by the Warriors. pass came, but it came a little late. Bullard got it off and missed it. Marciulionis with a rebound, quickly up court. Knights inside, back out to Mullen. Pass to Marciulionis for two, and boy, I'll tell you, what a well-oiled machine this Golden State team is.
Well-oiled. They're kind of sliding a little bit here. There's so much oil on that machinery out there. They're just simply moving that ball to the open man and not running the Rockets at this stage of the game.
They're not even putting the ball on the floor very often. 9:05 left to play in the second period. The Warriors 47, the Rockets 33. Now a word from Phillips 66, the Performance Company.
Get Monday through Saturday free. The Houston Post. Call now.
Warriors up 47-33 on the Rockets. This replay is brought to you by Pizza Hut Delivery, now delivering to more of Houston than ever before, and Mullen delivers. He delivers to Owens, who slams it home. Well, the Golden State Warriors, first time this season when they went on the Texas swing, they beat all three Texas teams. That's not done very often, and it's never been done 2 years in a row, except by the Celtics, who did it early in the 80s. Now, Golden State's already defeated Dallas. That's an illegal defense called on the Warriors. They can beat Houston, then they've only got to beat San Antonio to have gone through Texas twice and not lose. And an offensive foul called on Sleepy Floyd. I don't know why Sleepy's having such a tough time getting through the middle. Why don't you just go around him?
Well, what Sleepy's trying to do, he's trying to get the referee's attention, and the referee is not going to allow Sleepy to put him in the position to call it one way.
Hardaway takes it in for two. The way I see it, you're just going to have to go through him. You got to be tough.
Fight fire with fire.
Yep. Olajuwon back outside. They'll swing it over to Floyd. Floyd puts it up. Misses. Kicked out to Sleepy again. This time he'll drive over to Jamerson for two. Good pass by Sleepy Floyd. Quickly back to Chris Mullen. Mullen. Ball stripped away and a foul is called inside on Matt Bullard. First foul on Bullard. Second team foul on the Rockets. The Warriors have one. Kenny Smith and Vernon Maxwell will come back in for Rudy T.
And Dave Jamerson.
Jamerson comes out. So now Maxwell, Floyd, and Kenny Smith, along with Bullard and Olajuwon. That's about the fourth different combination Rudy has tried, trying to find one that can run with the Warriors.
I feel so bad for Dave. Dave came into the game all pumped up, ready to go, and I was hoping he was going to get some significant minutes right then, but of course, because of the way the game's going, he had to go back to his original starting team, and Dave got caught in the shuffle again.
Chris Mullen put up a quick basket. He has 8 points, 13 for Hardaway, 10 for Owens. Maxwell to Olajuwon. Olajuwon trying to go around Alexander. Good pass to Bullard. 51-37. Warriors lead it. 7:35 left to play. Second period. Victor Alexander passes inside Hardaway. Puts it up for two. I don't know who's guarding him, but apparently no one. Hardaway's got it his own way. That's 15 points now. Hardaway's 7 of 11 from the field. He scored inside. He scored outside.
Well, it's very apparent the one thing that's going to have to happen is they're going to have to double team Hardaway because no one man is going to be able to stop him. Not tonight, it doesn't seem that way because he's got his game in full gear right now.
Maxwell takes it into Olajuwon. He tipped it up, waits for it. Marciulionis knocks it out of bounds.
The one thing Olajuwon is going to have to do underneath low, he's going to go ahead and have to make his move. He cannot set and try to pump fake or draw anybody into the air because they're going to surround him as soon as that ball is in his hand.
Kenny Smith. Back out to Bullard. Picked up by Mullen. Olajuwon, nice play, knocked away by Mullen. Hardaway in the open court. Back to Mullen for two. Nope, it won't go, but tipped up and in by Vincent Askew. 65-37 Warriors. Olajuwon put the ball on the floor, and it rolled. When Olajuwon takes it down low, those little guys, and I don't mean little, really. Marciulionis is very thick, although he's at 6'4", but you get it down where they can see it.
Well, the one thing you never want to do on any team is bring the ball down below your waist, because that's where the guards and the small forwards are going to be looking to strip the ball from you. That's just a standard offensively.
That guy's so strong, Marciulionis, 6'4", weighs about 210, but believe you me, he's got huge legs and arms, and he works hard.
Oh, he's one of those big country boys.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Thorpe is back in the game now for Bullard. Kenny Smith on the left side looking for Otis. He's got Askew on him. Ball is deflected by Mullen. Floyd with a lazy pass in, and Mullen makes him pay at the other end. That's 10 Houston turnovers, and Golden State has not committed a turnover. Thorpe baseline, lays it up for two. Otis Thorpe now with 10 points. 57-41. Turnaround by Hardaway. A foul is whistled on Kenny Smith. Well, you can't come any closer to guarding him than fouling him, and Hardaway is just too good.
Yeah, Hardaway right now is just in stroke, as I said earlier. What he's doing right now is he's going for the outside shot, and the one mistake you cannot make is you can't foul the shooter. Once he's in the air, you're not going to block him straight up. Let him shoot the ball. What
a remarkable show Tim Hardaway is putting on here tonight, or should I say he puts on every night he plays.
Well, it never fails. Every time I mark a player as being an average shooter, he shoots it right in my face, sitting right here watching him score like he does it every night.
Last week against Boston, 43 points. NBA player for last week, player of the week. And in tonight's game, Hardaway has 18 points, 8 of 12 shooting. He also has 9 assists to go along with his 18 points. And if the game were over right now, he'd have pretty good stats at this moment. 22nd timeout taken by Rudy Tomjanovich. Well, tonight's game is brought to you in part by Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get. The Warriors have converted 20 points off of the 10 Houston turnovers.
Well, the Rockets have just simply got to take care of that basketball, and they've got to not be tentative. What they've done now, they've tried to be a little too careful with the ball. And anytime that happens, you don't have a full pass that leaves your hand. It's kind of a floater.
They say he's slow. I'll take a dozen like him. He just does it all. Now, there's your game right now, because the Warriors are up by 19. Olajuwon down to Thorpe, lays it up for two. Well, I'll tell you, there hasn't been a whistle on any of the Houston big men, has there? Marciulionis misses. Buck Johnson gives it up to Kenny Smith. Olajuwon being held underneath. There's Thorpe. Over to Buck Johnson, puts it up. No whistle, it goes anywhere. Just can't get a whistle if Houston's in. Hardaway with a three-pointer. Misses. Maxwell clears it out. Looking down for Olajuwon, posting up on Tyrone Hill. Back over to Kenny Smith. Kenny sets from 18. Rockets back within 13 points. 4:24 left, and Don Nelson wants a timeout. 4:24 left to play in the first half, and so far it's been all Warriors. The Warriors leading at 60-47 with 4:24 left to play in the second quarter. Here is tonight's Houston Post early edition headliner. The Warriors blitz the Rockets. And boy, do they ever, as they're putting on a scorching display of basketball here tonight. The Houston Post take time out with the sports leader. In their last 2 games, the Warriors have averaged 132 points per game and have shot over 60% from the field. Now those are pretty incredible stats, but they're going to try to do one better than that here. The most points given up by the Rockets in the first half this season, 65. Warriors already with 60. And the ball kicked by Maxwell. It's good. If the Oilers are looking for a field goal kicker, there he is. And he did it left-footed. New shot clock for the Warriors. Mario Elie has checked into the game, so you got a couple of CBAers in there, Askew and Elie. Askew played in what league? What, the 6 and 5 under league?
The 6 and 5 and under World Basketball League.
Mullen puts it up for 2.
So he's used to playing a post-up game because at that size in that league he was playing center position.
Already Golden State with 4 players in double figures. 62-47. Down to Olajuwon, knocked out of bounds by Tyrone Hill. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
Anytime that the Rockets throw the ball into the sidelines in low and they pump fake it first, then the ball's floated in the air, you'll see everybody leave and run down low.
Hill, the biggest player in there for Don Nelson. They'll let Olajuwon go one-on-one for 2. 62-49. The Warriors seem content to give you whatever you want right there, and then they just come blazing right back down. Vincent Askew is going to work on Otis Thorpe. Goes baseline, throws it away. That's the first turnover by the Warriors, and we've got 3:16 left to play in the first half. Swinging it to Olajuwon. No, and drive instead. Back out to Buck. Kenny Smith from the outside. Olajuwon has it, and they ripped the goggles. They ripped everything off.
I think they molested the big fella. But nevertheless, that's where the ball has got to go. The ball has got to spend more time down low where the Rockets can use their size. Olajuwon and Otis, they need to be the middle of the offense right now.
They're going to call a flagrant, and I think that's a good call because all 4 Warriors went after him. Of course, you know, that's the first foul whistled when Olajuwon's going for a basket. If they don't try to slow it down a little bit, that's what's going to happen. He just doesn't get any whistles. We've got a picket fence set up in front of us here, Calvin. We'll have to watch the monitor. Carol Dawson stepped in front of me and blocked out the sun. So the Rockets get 2 free throws plus the basketball. Now Owens and Alexander will come back in. A little larger lineup for Don Nelson. That small lineup, the Rockets did quite well against. Well, it's a 62-51 game. Rockets have climbed to within 11 and a chance to get it back to 9.
The Warriors defense is forcing the Rockets out a step and a half further to receive the ball than they normally are used to getting.
Olajuwon working hard. They're not getting him the pass. Maxwell from the outside misses. And the ball's out of bounds. Belongs to the Warriors. Mario Elie will stay in and play with Hardaway. Then it'll be Owens, Mullen. I think this is the 3rd position for Owens in the game tonight. He'll be playing at forward. They had him at guard, at forward, at center.
You think he cleans up after games or what?
He might, drive the team bus. And a turnover, and they'll give it to Hardaway. They said Olajuwon knocked it out of bounds. Oh, he lost it by himself. Olajuwon never came close to it.
1-0.
Turnaround, and a foul is whistled on Alexander. Here is the discrepancy, Calvin. Alexander shooting a fall-away jump shot gets a whistle, yet down at the other end, when Thorpe and Olajuwon are battling in close to the basket, they never get a whistle.
Going towards the rim.
Yeah. So I don't see the difference.
The difference is you have one team that's winning big numbers, and then you have another team struggling, and the referees going with the team that has the aggressive reputation.
.218 left to play in the second period. 63-51. Olajuwon with the dream shake. Short. Thorpe has it taken away by Askew.
2 minutes of the period.
Owens got into dribbling trouble. Alexander puts it up, and he got the roll. That ball went up about 10 feet in the air.
Just the fact that he had enough confidence to take that 15-footer is surprising to me. And then the fact that it hit badly, went straight up and in the basket.
Buck Johnson's open from 18, misses. Tipped up and saved by Thorpe. Battles to go inside. Ball is blocked. Thorpe goes down and gets it. Back outside, right to Mullen. Mullen to Askew in the open court. Lays it up for two. 1:15 left. 67-51. Again, a 16-point Warrior lead. Maxwell misses. Mario Elie in the open court. Back to Mullen. Fires from 18. Yes.
His shot is so pure that it's almost scary. And he can do it on the run, stop his speedy motion, and hit a nice, soft, little lofty jump shot.
69 points for the Warriors. That's a new opponent record against Houston for a half. 69-51. Steal by Mullen. And he takes it in for two. 8 in a row. All the way, Olajuwon. Nobody guarded him, and he slams it home with a little frustration. 10 points for Hakeem. 71-53 Warriors. And a foul on Mullen. Good job by Kenny Smith. He played the passing lane, knocked the ball away. Mullen had to grab Smith.
For Chris Mullen.
Both teams now would be in the penalty on the next foul. They haven't had a lot of fouls in this game. Kenny Smith pulls up, shoots. Good shot, wouldn't go in. Askew with a rebound. Quickly to Billy Owens. 5 seconds left, down to 4. Owens leans in, and traveling call on Owens with 1.4 left in the half.
Jim Peterson.
Now Peterson will come in for Alexander. He has 2 fouls, so Peterson will come in for the final second and change. Kenny Smith will shoot it from past midcourt, and it's off the glass, not close. And that's the end of a record-setting performance by the Golden State Warriors. The most points scored against Houston in a half this year. 71 for the Warriors, 53 for the Rockets.
'66 high-quality super clean gasoline, keeping your car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance.
71-53 here in the Summit at halftime. We'll check the stats, and boy, they're grisly for the Rockets. Look at that shooting for the Golden State Warriors. 34 of 50 from the field for 68%. Rockets not shooting bad at 55%, but that just won't get it done. And in the rebounding department, it's even. 8 steals for the Warriors. Turnovers, 12 for Houston. 24 points off turnovers for the Warriors. Only 2 for the Houston Rockets. Let's check out our Budweiser scoreboard. This update brought to you, of course, by Budweiser, the king of beers with that clean, crisp taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Boston beating Indiana, however, tonight, 103-71. Got a little revenge for that loss last weekend. 10-point lead by Orlando, a 10-point lead by Minnesota over Dallas. And the rest of the games just getting started. We'll have the Bud scoreboard for you and have some finals for you, we hope, after this game here tonight. There's a steal immediately. Olajuwon, Kenny Smith, nice feed. Buck Johnson, he's fouled by Alexander. Or Owens, is he? Anyway, it's a three-point opportunity for Houston, and that's a good way to start.
Well, it goes without saying how important the start of this third quarter is for the Rockets. And as you said, Bill, that is the best way to start it with a three-point play. And the fact of the matter is you did it on defense. It's a steal and an aggressive move towards the basket.
Owens put his hands out. He did touch Buck Johnson, but that's why I think that call is foolish, because if anything, he was trying to prop him up. 71-56. Rockets need to force some turnovers of their own just like that. There's Alexander. Nice move. Looking down, Otis Thorpe. Nice feed by Kenny Smith. Otis puts it up for two. And another three-point opportunity for Houston.
Second personal foul.
Maybe they just see better on that end of the court, but there are more whistles now.
Well, I'll tell you what they do better on that end of the court is they get the ball inside. That's where they're going to, right now, if possible, get involved or get back into the game. They took two inside moves and scored on both of them.
Ooh. I think that was an air ball on the free throw. Otis has been struggling this year, 66% from the free throw line, and he continues with that problem. 73-58 now. The Warriors still leading. Looking for Hardaway, going back door over to Hill. Hill puts it up, blocked by Olajuwon. Olajuwon with a block. Kenny Smith up the court in a hurry. Buck Johnson lost the ball. Tyrone Hill has it over to Hardaway. Hardaway lost his dribble. You can almost guard him after he's lost his dribble.
You said almost. You didn't say guard him.
That's exactly what I said. There's the shot clock down to 6. Shot clock down to 4. They're looking for Hardaway. Down to 3. Theo Maxwell up ahead to Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith for 2. And that is the best defense we've seen the Rockets play in this game, and it was rewarded with an easy basket at the other end. Golden State calls a timeout. 13-point Golden State lead. Now a word from Phillips 66, the Performance Company. Well, the Houston Rockets with some better defense, forcing a couple of early turnovers in the second half. And the Rockets trying to get back into this game. Hardaway double dribble. All right, there's another turnover, Calvin. And you just try to force them as much as you can. You can't get back in a hurry, but you just try to creep back in.
Well, one good thing that happened in the first half, I see right now the Warriors have gotten quite relaxed with their game, and the Rockets have capitalized on it.
Inside, a holding foul on Tyrone Hill. That's the third quick foul by the Warriors.
Foul call on Tyrone Hill, his third personal foul.
The Rockets still without a team foul.
Notice the trend of this game. Every time they're taking that ball low, something good has happened.
Nice pick by Otis Thorpe. Kenny Smith bangs it home, and the Rockets have scored 9 points. 73-62. Rockets down by 11. Double team on Hardaway. Olajuwon knocks it away. Kenny Smith has the ball. Kenny Smith up ahead to Maxwell. Maxwell puts it up. A foul, no foul call. Boy, there was a banging of bodies and no whistle. And now Mullen has it on the outside, looking for Owens, posting up. Double team on Owens. Rockets. Maxwell with another steal. Maxwell. And the Rockets are within 9. Furious defense by Houston. The crowd getting into it. Almost another steal. It is. Olajuwon. Can Kenny Smith run it down? Yes. And a timeout by the Warriors. The Rockets with 13 straight. And it's a ball game again. 73-66.
Of all the importance.
What a turnaround in the first 4 minutes of the third period. The turnovers now belonging to the Warriors, and the Rockets have cashed in at the other end. Houston has outscored the Warriors 13-2. Another turnover. A steal. Kenny Smith has it up. Kenny, nice move. Yes! The Rockets 15-2 to start the third quarter. Don Nelson with some concern. It's now a 5-point Warrior lead. Just a few moments ago, it was 19. Steal, Kenny Smith. Kenny. It's almost tipped in by Olajuwon and just over the rim. Oh, they're going to call it and couldn't.
Yeah, that's too bad. The Rockets did everything well again except put the ball in the basket on that one.
Mullen, air ball, Hardaway, and a foul is called on Kenny Smith. Five-point lead, and they're going to say he was shooting. So Hardaway will have a couple of free throws. Boy, I haven't seen a game change this quickly in a long time. The Warriors were doing everything right. Had only 3 turnovers at the half and now have 11. And it's all come here in the first 5 minutes.
Well, the best way to get involved in the game, get back in the game, is not allow a team to score. The Rockets have been allowed them to shoot.
74-68. Going down inside to Olajuwon, and it's tipped away, and it'll be Houston's ball. Again, now the Rockets cannot afford any sloppy passes. They can't get back into that old style of play. Shot clock down to 7. Three-pointer! Kenny Smith with a 3. 74-71. Hardaway.
They can't let Hardaway take control of this game now. Kenny's got to play straight-up defense and not allow Hardaway to drive to the basket and make them beat you over the top.
7 minutes left in the third period. Olajuwon hits the court. Buck Johnson takes it to the middle. A steal. Marciulionis. Oh, he walked all over the place. Hardaway puts it up for 2. And Marciulionis is limping. Like he went down hard on his knee. Askew and Marciulionis in the game. A small lineup now for Don Nelson. 6:32 left. 78-71. Again, a 7-point lead by the Warriors. Now to Otis Thorpe. Otis all the way across court. Maxwell for a 3. Marciulionis to the middle. Mullen picked up. Furious defense by Houston. Askew takes it in on Olajuwon. Passes off. Alexander, ball knocked away, and a foul called on Akeem. And that's number 3, or number 1, I should say, on Olajuwon. Second team foul on Houston. 3 team fouls on the Warriors. And I think Marciulionis going to go over and have that right knee checked out. Well, that would be a tough loss for the Warriors. He comes off that bench and supplies good, tough, aggressive play. Well, the Rockets have outscored the Warriors now 21-9 here in the third period.
And it's all about just being aggressive, making things happen.
Kenny Smith going down. Olajuwon's got good position, leans it in. He's fouled. He'll shoot 2. And the foul came from the little guy, Hardaway, from behind. He was aware, of course, that Alexander was in foul trouble early. And they didn't want him to pick up his third, and Olajuwon will shoot 2. Hakeem, tonight has been to the line twice.
And that's very unusual. So Olajuwon only goes to the line twice and a half or twice in 2.5 quarters when they're being very aggressive around that basket.
Well, the entire Rockets team has been to the line only 6 times.
Well, that explains why he's only had 2.
And the Warriors have been to the line only 7. 80-76. 4-point Golden State lead. Buck Johnson got a deflection. Shot clock is at 10. Mullins for a 3. Air ball. Alexander saves it to Maxwell. Kenny Smith. Pass inside. Buck Johnson! How did he get that shot up and in? And the Rockets now trail by only 2. Trailing by 18 at halftime. Hardaway. And a big collision. Thorpe and Hardaway go down, and a foul is called on Thorpe, number 2. And Marciulionis right back in.
Thorpe committed the foul, but Thorpe came over to support because they don't want Hardaway to turn that corner going to the basket.
3 team fouls on the Rockets, 4 on the Warriors. Hardaway, turnaround, tough shot. What a player. Boy, is he something. 11 of 16 from the field, 25 points for Hardaway.
And he knows what I say about his outside shooting, so he goes down the court and looks over at me, gives me a little wink.
The dream shake for 2. 82-80. Marciulionis on the outside. Maxwell picking him up on the drive. Tough shot. Marciulionis using all of that physicality that he has to get that shot off.
That was good defense on the part of Maxwell not to allow him to get past him.
And a 3rd foul on Alexander. And that's the 5th team foul on the Warriors. And so the Rockets are in 1 plus the bonus. Well, watch, you can't see better one-on-one here.
Well, the one thing, yeah, exactly. The one thing that Vernon did well, he made Marciulionis take a fadeaway difficult shot, even though it was close to the basket. That's good body position. He didn't try to steal it. He didn't try to block it. He just kept him from getting to that basket. But, you know, the players are so good in this league that you're never going to stop anybody. You're going to contain.
Olajuwon has 1 more free throw. Hakeem is perfect from the line, 6 of 6, 16 points. All 5 Houston scores in double figures, of course. 11 for Buck, 14 for Thorpe, 16 Olajuwon, 15 Maxwell, 20 for Kenny Smith. 2-point Warrior lead. Buck Johnson with a steal. Houston 3-on-1 fast break. Kenny Smith. Buck, and he's fouled from behind, and a chance to tie the game.
I tell you, everything's all about defense right now with the Rockets. Hardaway floated the pass. Buck read it as it was coming. He played in between both offensive men, got the ball down the floor, and they played hot potato. Buck going to the basket on the line, possibly to bring the game into a tie situation and the momentum going in their direction.
The last time this game was tied was at 14-14. In the meantime, the Warriors have had as much as a 19-point lead, had an 18-point lead at the half. And Bullard will come in for Olajuwon, who will get a breather with 3:59 left in the third period. Buck Johnson with a chance to tie it. Misses. Tipped up, and Tyrone Hill has it. The Warriors keep their lead by 1, 84-83. Hardaway in the middle, and without Olajuwon there's no back door.
You hit it right on the head. As soon as Olajuwon left, the first thing Hardaway did was try to get to that basket.
Never even looked for the drive before that. Maxwell, give-and-go dribble, knocked away by Marciulionis. Back to Mario Elie. Missed the shot. Tipped outside. Kenny Smith. Maxwell. Three-pointer. Yes! And the Rockets have tied it at 86. Listen to this crowd.
This is the Rocket basketball that I remember. This is the Rocket basketball that we've come accustomed to liking. The fact that the Rockets simply play smart basketball, they get it together, and defensively they clamp down on the Warriors and wouldn't allow them to dictate the second half offense.
Well, both teams are now in the penalty with 2:58 left to play. And this Golden State team is an excellent free throw shooting team, shoots just about 75%. So if you get in a free throw shooting battle with the Warriors, you better be making them. Rockets are 8 of 10 from the line. The Warriors are 7 of 9. Well, the Rockets have fought their way back in it, and here we go. Maxwell thought about a three again. Goes to Kenny Smith looking for Otis Thorpe. And Otis went one way and the pass went the other. That's the 16th Houston turnover, 12 for the Warriors. Hardaway drives inside again, misses, tipped out of bounds, belongs to Houston.
That was good support defense. Anytime Hardaway makes that crossover dribble, he's going to the basket. He was given support defense, made him take a very difficult shot.
Kenny Smith open from 18, off the back of the iron. Marciulionis has it, a foul in the backcourt on Smith. And Marciulionis will go to the line for the 1 plus the bonus. And I imagine Kenny getting a little tired, as is Maxwell, because they played the entire quarter, and it has been a quarter where the Rockets have been on a blistering pace. And a timeout is taken by Houston. 2:18 left to play in the third period. It's been all Rockets as they trail now by only 3. And with a break in the action, here's a word from Continental Airlines. Travel arranged through Continental, which is Take a Difference. Well, if you left with the game 71-53 at the half, you've missed a heck of a comeback. The Rockets have outscored the Warriors 33-18 here in the third period. And Calvin Murphy, what the Rockets need to do now here in the final 2:18 is not let all that hard work go awry. They need to keep the pressure on.
That's right. Defensively, they've got to keep the pressure on, and they want to take the ball down low. Don't become a perimeter shooting team right now. The Rockets did a nice job getting Otis Thorpe and Olajuwon to be involved in the offense, and it caused the defense to have to react, and then everybody got involved.
Maxwell with 4 3-pointers tonight, 2 in this period.
Well, the fact that Maxwell has plenty of time to set and just to take that nice stroke is why he's shooting that ball so well. He's not trying to do a three-point attempt with defense running at him or off the dribble. He's doing it within the flow of the offense.
Now Hardaway on the other end, with Olajuwon out of the game, he didn't hesitate to go to the basket.
Well, you can be assured that the Warriors are going to spread the floor right now. They're going to try to use Hardaway's ability to get inside to their advantage.
27 points for Hardaway, 10 for Owens, 13 for Alexander, 16 for Mullen, and 10 for Hill. Marcelonis off the bench with 9 points. For the Rockets, Buck Johnson with 12, Otis Thorpe with 14, Olajuwon with 16, 18 for Maxwell, and 20 for Kenny Smith. Now, I think Rudy did a smart thing here. He's coming right back with Olajuwon. He let him get a breather for about a minute, but that's all, and he's right back in the game.
Yeah, this game is too close right now. This is anybody's game to give your starters like Olajuwon too much time, and the game get out of hand within a 2-minute span.
So Avery Johnson is in for Kenny Smith. It'll be Olajuwon Bullard as Thorpe takes a rest. Buck Johnson, Maxwell, and Avery Johnson. Marcelonis will have one more. So a 4-point Warrior lead. Avery Johnson will run the offense. Bullard looking down for Olajuwon, picked up by Owens. Olajuwon with a turnaround for two.
There's no way the Huskies could stay up with Olajuwon around that basket. They've got to go right back to that same play and milk it for all it's worth.
Ball on the floor, another turnover by the Warriors. A steal by Houston, given up to Maxwell, over to Avery Johnson. Rockets trail by 2. Good crossover by Avery, tipped out by the Warriors. Houston has it with 15 on the shot clock. 1:41 left to play in the third period. Shot clock as Olajuwon positions. They drop it down to Akeem. 3 seconds. Got to shoot it. Avery Johnson puts it up. And the rebound goes to Hardaway. Hardaway with a crossover dribble. And it's, what a shot by Tim Hardaway.
He shot that looking for a foul. He relaxed, put the ball up on the backboard, thinking he had a 3-point play, and he got 2.
Jump ball is called. Watch Hardaway again.
Anytime he makes that crossover dribble, you know he's going to the hole. Olajuwon comes over just to stop his pass. And what else could you say?
NBA action, there you are. That's your number 1 play of the week. 1:07 left now in this quarter. Olajuwon wins the tip, and Buck Johnson tips it back to Akeem. Maxwell steps back and fires. 92-90, quick, easy bucket for Owens. Well, Rockets didn't get back on defense. And it's a 4-point Warriors lead. Bullard will shoot the 3. Oh, boy. Bullard hot. The Rockets have shot the 3 here. 6 3-pointers by Houston in the game. Steal! Olajuwon. And Marcelonis tips it back to Hardaway. And they're going to get a fresh 24 off the shot clock. Boy, how about that for Hustle? There you see the time remaining in the period.
Now they're going to use the point forward where they're going to have Owens take him one-on-one to the basket.
Owens on the drive, pass off Askew for the slam, and a foul is called on Houston with 4 seconds left. A 3-point opportunity, and that Owens is something special when they can open the court for him.
Yeah, well, here's that point forward play where he's just simply going to use his ability to handle the ball, draw the defense, and find Askew coming to the basket for a 3-point opportunity.
And Buck Johnson called for his second foul of the game. Askew will try to complete the 3-point play. Owens getting congratulations on the bench. Rockets still have 4 seconds to get the final shot. He missed it badly. Bullard has it. Buck Johnson. Buck with 1 second left. Yes! And that puts the finishing touches on a furious third period by Houston. The Rockets come out and outscore Golden State 42-25. Stay with us. What a finish we've got coming your way on HSE.
line.
At Lee Blum Furniture, South Main and Hillcroft.
Best quarter of the season for the Rockets, 42-25 over the Warriors. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. 29 for Hardaway, Kenny Smith with 20. Look at that shooting by the Rockets, 73%. And the points off turnovers, the Rockets have completely turned this game around with 14-2 in the third quarter. Now, Calvin, we have that coaching little clinic that you do to start the second half of every game, but you were right on here tonight.
Well, she got to cut the turnovers in half. They reversed that defensive transition defense was a key. They stopped all fast breaks. They went inside. The inside play was just tremendous in the tempo. They started playing their game opposed to trying to keep up with the Golden State Warriors.
Well, I told them to listen to you.
Yeah, how many times do you ever tell anybody that, Bill?
All the time, and there's one of them. Kenny Smith now. Here we go, final 12 minutes. It's going to take that kind of effort again to subdue this game, this Golden State team. Bullard put it up, Mullen with a steal. I don't think Mullen, he's got about 4 steals. L.A. blocked by Olajuwon. Avery Johnson has Askew. Avery goes outside, looks for help. Sleepy Floyd off the rim. Olajuwon takes it away from Bullard. Puts it up baseline, short. And the rebound goes to Owens. Olajuwon goes on the floor, almost got the steal. Look at that, Owens in the open court. He takes it all the way for 2. What a player, Billy Owens.
Oh, my goodness. That's your basic coast-to-coast. He was a running back for a minute, then he was a defensive back, then he was a ball handler, then he became a layup maker. Unbelievable.
The Warriors have so many great individual athletes. Bullard. Pass off to Floyd. Floyd will back it out. Looking for Olajuwon to post up. Olajuwon turns and fires. That's no match. Askew just can't stay with him.
All night long. That's what you want to do with that play. And Sleepy was wide open, but the thing he did smart was take the ball down inside and let Olajuwon use his size and his ability to jump over the smaller defender.
Hardaway is getting a rest, so Owens has taken over. Owens rattles no. Olajuwon. And the Rockets with a chance to take the lead. Olajuwon, there they go, right back. Olajuwon on Askew, bounce pass, Bullard, no, off the front of the iron, almost. Marciulionis goes by Avery Johnson. Ball is in the air, and Maxwell had it. Mario Elie comes up with it. Mullen from 16.
You don't want him to get started again. They kept him in check fairly much since he had that early quick start. You got to spend time concentrating and keeping him from getting his opportunity shots.
3-point Warrior lead. Looking for Olajuwon. Boy, they're letting Askew push him all over the place. There's a double team on Akeem, and he throws it away, and a foul on Bullard. Olajuwon, it's just unbelievable how hard Olajuwon's having to work. They're allowing Askew to do everything with the big man. And,
well,
it's just unbelievable the amount of contact that they're allowing him to have on Olajuwon.
This is the kind of defense that Denver used to use against Olajuwon. They had hands all over him. They use the smaller guys to defend him, and they allow it to happen.
No respect. And this time Bullard is called for a foul, reaching in.
He was coming back to help Avery Johnson, who got caught on a mismatch with him.
Well, they're going to call it on Avery instead of Bullard. So now Thorpe will come into the game. So Marciulionis will shoot 2. 2 team fouls on the Rockets, none on the Warriors. .101.97. 11 of 14 from the line for Golden State. 8 of 10 for Houston.
So often it happens. You fight so hard to get back up that hill, and when you reach the hill, you have a little lull in the action, and the team that was normally ahead picked up a few points.
Olajuwon goes right by Hill. He's grabbed, and the ball won't go.
Jump ball.
Wait a minute. They're calling a jump ball. Where? Was it a jump ball?
In his mind, Bill. In his mind.
Olajuwon will be jumping with Hill. Hakeem wins it. Maxwell has the ball. There's Olajuwon being pushed around again. Avery Johnson open, misses. Owens in the open court. Marciulionis from the wing for 2 more. Rudy needs a timeout. And he's going to have to get, I think, the shooting guards back in there. Kenny Smith has been hot. He'll take a timeout. 8:43 left, and the Warriors go back up 104-97.
So I'm doing my sound check.
As you look at the score, this replay is brought to you by Pizza Hut Delivery. Don't settle for second-rate pizza. Call Pizza Hut Delivery, and Kenny Smith delivers it to the second story. And Kenny is back in the game. So it's Kenny Smith, Maxwell, Thorpe, Olajuwon, Buck Johnson. The Warriors on a little run now. The Warriors have scored the last 6 points. Maxwell out front. Shot clock is down to 5. Shot clock's at 4. Olajuwon puts it up. Illegal defense is called on Golden State, and I believe that's the second illegal D on the Warriors, so the Rockets get a free throw.
Violation. That's a technical foul.
The thing I like about that call is not only do they get a foul shot, but they get the ball back with the new 24-second clock.
You see how much time they take to explain everything to Don Nelson? These referees must think he's the commissioner.
It's either respect or fear.
I mean, they don't tell him to get back behind the line. They talk to him.
They ask him politely, if you don't have anything else to do, would you please get back?
Yeah. Well, that's what you get for all those years of experience. I guess he's earned that.
That's what you get for all those years with the Boston Celtics.
Maxwell with a 3. He missed. Owens with a rebound. Owens has standing tall in this game here tonight. Hardaway now with the rest is back in the game. Owens on the drive for 2. Well, he is tough. Billy Owens with 16 points.
So he's doing a little bit of everything. The points is not what's making him tough out there. It's his all-around floor game.
106-98. Warriors back up by 8 again. Olajuwon spinning around on Tyrone Hill, misses. Otis Thorpe tips it up, gets it back. Otis takes it inside. He's fouled. It goes. They're going to say out of bounds. They're going to say Thorpe stepped on the baseline. No basket.
Boy, you can't win for losing on some instances here. Otis back heel, rush the baseline, causing him to be called for a violation.
Marciulionis on the pass off. Hardaway with an air ball inside, and a loose ball foul is called, I believe, on Billy Owens. Number 3 on Owens. First team foul on the Warriors. The Rockets have 2 team fouls. 7:10 left to play. Rockets got to get it going again. Maxwell saves it. Didn't have to. He could have gone back. It was touched. Olajuwon back outside. Kenny Smith with a 3-pointer. The Rockets with 7 3-pointers in this game. Make it 8. Rockets are 8 for 14 from the 3-point line.
Now, notice how Maxwell is guarding Marciulionis. He's playing him for the outside shot, which will allow him to get inside. Of course, Mullins is another story.
Well, they haven't even used him for a weapon until now. You know, they've got so many weapons individually to go to, and Don likes to open that court and use every one of them. Buck Johnson. Boy, some torrid shooting tonight. Houston shooting 58%. Golden State shooting 65%. 108-103. And a foul on Buck Johnson. Number 3 on Buck, number 3 on the Rockets.
Now the Rockets have got to get out of the habit of getting themselves in position where a player can use an acting job on them to get them in foul trouble.
Now Mullen takes it inside, and another foul on Buck Johnson.
Now that's out of anger. Now Buck would like to get that one taken back. He got himself right out of position, caused him to get a foul that I know that he knew better than put himself in that position.
That's the 14th foul on Houston, so Golden State in the penalty on the next Houston foul. Thorpe has the rebound. 5-point Warrior lead. Olajuwon, they're just bullying him, and a jump ball call. Marciulionis ties up Olajuwon. Olajuwon brings that ball down around his waist, and when he does, Marciulionis is so strong that he just puts a vice-like grip on it.
And every time he gets the ball, everybody's running at him, so he's got to keep it up high or move the ball quickly on the pass.
Olajuwon wins the jump easily over to Kenny Smith. Buck Johnson thought about it a minute. Buck steps inside the three-point line. And won't go. Hardaway. Owen. And a foul call on Houston. Otis Thorpe is called for his third personal foul. And now the Warriors are in the penalty the rest of the way. Only one team foul on the Warriors, and this could be critical with 5:25 left to play.
No, this is critical because what's going to happen is, especially with Hardaway's going to go to that basket, and the referee's been calling it in the Golden State Warriors' favor, basically going to the hole.
Owens, if he has a weakness, he's only a 66% free throw shooter. He gets 1 out of 2.
Well, I tell you what, just like Karl Malone, he's going to improve that over time from play.
He better. 6-point lead by the Warriors. 5:15 left. Buck Johnson coming off a pick. The shot was there, tipped up, and in by Olajuwon. Good tip by Hakeem. That thing rolled all the way around a couple of times. Olajuwon with 22 points, 20 for Maxwell, 24 for Kenny Smith. 4:55 left to play. Buck Johnson chasing Mullen. Leans in. Tough shot. Won't go. And Olajuwon clears it to Kenny Smith. Maxwell with a three. Going to be short. Olajuwon is there. And it's stripped away off the knee of Olajuwon.
How many big plays are the Warriors going to make when the Rockets are choosing from the basket? They're tying the Rockets up. Now they're able to strip the ball. The ball goes off Olajuwon. The Warriors have a lot of quick hands around that ball. They're taking a lot of chances that they're getting away with.
I would think about 10 times tonight they've been able to slap at the ball and get it away. Mullen has got Kenny Smith on him, takes it inside, and he's fouled by Buck Johnson.
The Warriors will use a mismatch very well. Anytime that they get a small on big, what they do, they take it right to the hole, making everyone else commit themselves to help out.
Mullen's free throw percentage is down this year. He's only 82%.
Yeah, that's low. That's low for Chris. Real low, matter of fact.
He's about a 90% free throw shooter, and I'm talking about from the time he left high school all the way to now.
What happens a lot of times, of course, anytime you go into a weight program, you lose a little touch from certain ranges, and that's what's apparently happened with him. He's gotten very strong.
110 to 105, 5-point lead by the Warriors, nearing 4 minutes left to play in the game. Kenny Smith lays it back to Olajuwon. 3-point lead by the Warriors. Under 4 minutes left. Marciulionis for 2. Boy, they have just shot the eyes out of it tonight. 16 points for Marciulionis.
You said it right from the outset of this telecast. They got a lot of weapons, and they're all confident in what they do well, and that's shoot the basketball.
Thorpe goes to Buck Johnson, turns, lays it off to Akeem. He's grabbed by Marciulionis. He wrapped him up with a bear hug, and that's the second foul on Marciulionis, and only the second team foul on the Warriors.
The perimeter game should only become a game now when the clock is running down under 5. They need to work that ball with penetration or throw it inside out for the next 3 minutes.
Well, Olajuwon looking at a triple-double possibility here tonight. And a timeout taken by the Warriors. 3:13 left to play, and the Warriors with a 4-point lead.
If your VCR is a pain.
That's what's left tonight with 3:13 left to play. Here's tonight's Houston Post headliner. Booster Rockets kick in, and do they ever. In the third period, they are up for 42 points. The Houston Post take timeout with the sports leader. Olajuwon has been perfect from the line, 7 of 7. He has 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. He also has 4 steals and 4 block shots. And they iced him with the timeout. So it's a 112-108 Warrior lead. The Warriors shooting an incredible 64% for their third game in a row. All on the road, mind you. Marciulionis with a short jumper. It skips across the iron, and here we go. Rockets ball. Trailing by 4.
That was a big miss on Marciulionis' part. This gives the Rockets an opportunity to get right back into position to have the ball on possession.
Olajuwon inside. Marciulionis with a foul.
Foul is called Marciulionis. His third personal foul.
Third foul on Marciulionis.
Every time that ball goes down low now to Olajuwon or anybody, the defense is going to collapse. They want Olajuwon to pitch that ball back out to keep him from getting around that basket. And it's also great free throw shooting on the part of Olajuwon. How many times have you said it, Bill, going down the stretch, Olajuwon is the one you want on that line?
Well, he's got to, because they'll put him there plenty of times, and he's missed one tonight. It's a 2-point game, 112-110.
Kenny Smith is playing defense now on Hardaway, and Hardaway's going to be the man that you know the play is going to be set up for. When he does not have the ball in his hands, he's going to do something to get it.
Marciulionis has it. Puts it up for 2. Marciulionis taking the big shots now, and that's 18 points for Sarunas Marciulionis. Again, a 4-point Warrior lead. Nearing the 2-minute mark left to play in the game. Kenny Smith with a spin move. Kenny Smith for 2. Again, a 2-point game. So many one-on-one players for Golden State.
Now, back off, Kenny. Don't let him get inside. Let him take the outside shot going down the strip.
Steal! Olajuwon waits for help. 3-point attempt for Maxwell. Off the back of the iron, Olajuwon gets it back. Right back again to Buck Johnson. Rockets with a new clock. Rockets trailing by 2. Maxwell back to Kinney. Thought about the 3. Olajuwon, baseline, misses. Otis Thorpe with a rebound. Otis back out to Kenny Smith. Buck Johnson is held, and that will only be the 4th team foul on the Warriors, so the Rockets will have possession. The foul is on Billy Owens, his 4th. The 4th team foul on the Warriors.
The one thing the Rockets have right now that's working in their favor is patience. They're patient to get a good shot, to get something out of each possession. Plus, they're going to their offensive boards to give themselves second shot attempts.
1:10 left to play. Kenny Smith and Hardaway. Looking inside. Knocked away, and it'll be kicked away by the Warriors. The Rockets have it with 7 seconds left on the shot clock. So now Houston must get the ball into the hands of the shooter. Timeout for Rudy Tomjanovich. 52.7 left. The game could be in the balance when we come back. Well, that's it. That's the game with 52.7 left to play, and we'll give you a scoreboard update now, sponsored by Schick Tracer. It traces every curve on your face. Boston has annihilated Indiana 130-109. Orlando defeats Philadelphia, and it was Minnesota by 1 over Dallas, 106-105. And in the 4th period, Chicago easily up on the Bullets. Miami up on Denver at the half. Phoenix up on Cleveland. That game still early. And Pat Riley and the Knicks are back in L.A. Rudy Tomjanovich now has called a full timeout. Talking to Buck Johnson. 7 seconds. Now, Rudy's telling him you've got a 20 left if you can't get it in.
That's right. If you can't get the ball in bounds, because he doesn't want him to waste the ball trying to get in, but only 7 seconds on the shot clock and not get a good attempt.
Both teams have 2 timeouts plus their 20s. And this is a good team at denying an inbounds pass. Olajuwon has it from way outside. Olajuwon with an unbelievable shot to tie the game. Here we go. Hardaway and Smith out front. Hardaway over Olajuwon. Hardaway with a terrific shot over Akeem. And 32 left and counting. Rockets will take another timeout.
Now, Kenny should have backed off on Hardaway, allowing Hardaway to take the outside shot or to get help from Olajuwon low. But when you play uptight on Hardaway where he can feel you, he's going to use you to get himself in position that he hurts your teammate.
Watch this shot by Akeem, though.
This is just relaxed. There's no pressure on you because the shot's going down, but then again there is pressure because that's a big shot in that particular instance.
Boy, I'm telling you, what did Owens must think? He did everything but tackle Olajuwon, and the ball still went in. Olajuwon tonight, 10 of 19 from the field, 9 of 10 from the line, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 29 points.
Now, you got to remember now, he started real slowly offensively, so he's done all of this in the last 2.5 quarters.
Maxwell with 20, 26 for Kenny Smith, 16 for Buck Johnson, Otis Thorpe with 14. Well, it comes down to this when you're playing the best team in the West, and that's the Warriors. The Warriors with about a half-game better record than the Portland Trailblazers. And I didn't think Golden State really was for real when the season started, but I do now. They have done it all. They lead the league in scoring, almost 120 a game. They lead the league in field goal percentage. They lead the league in free throws made, 24 free throws a game. And they lead the league in forcing turnovers with almost 19 a game. And tonight the Rockets have 21. And the Warriors are second in steals with almost 11 a game.
Now I understand why you think they're for real now, Bill.
Well, you know, you just don't think a team can win without a big man in the middle. But they have so many great individual parts, and what he's been able to do is mold them into a team.
And he lets them use their own individual creativity within the scheme of his offense.
It's just a beautiful team to watch. I think this Golden State team, if I was having to buy tickets, thank goodness I don't, I would pay to see this team play. It's a fun team to watch.
Bill, I think you're a cheapo.
Well, Murphy, you are too. Because you're sitting right here next to me. All right, here we go now. Buck Johnson will bring it in. And Mario Elie has checked in along with Askew. So Askew will be on Buck Johnson. Mario Elie will be on Maxwell. And Buck Johnson will take his 22nd timeout. He couldn't get the ball in. So now the Rockets have one full timeout remaining. And Don Nelson has 2 fulls plus his 20. And again, we caution you that this is the best team, Golden State, and not allowing you to get that ball in. So the Rockets now are going to have to break to the ball and be sure that they get a safe pass in.
You know what's been amazing tonight? That Larry Smith has seen no time because of Rudy playing matchups. This team is a little too quick for Larry Smith. And, you know, with Larry's legs still healing, his lateral movement is not quite up to par. A team that has all his individual talent would hurt Larry.
Really, Rudy hasn't been to his bench very often at all. Buck Johnson will bring it in. Better hurry. There it is to Otis Thorpe. Over to Kenny Smith now. That's the time remaining in the game. 17 on the shot clock. Into Olajuwon deep. Olajuwon is fouled, and he will shoot 1 plus the bonus. Tyrone Hill is called for his 5th personal foul. So they decided to put Olajuwon at the line rather than risk letting him shoot.
I don't think Don Nelson wanted to put him on the line right here. Hill just got caught into a shoving match right there. That wasn't even close to good defense. I looked at Don Nelson's face on that particular foul, and he was none too happy.
Now you see the offensive troops on the way, Marciulionis and Mullen.
And Tyrone Hill.
And Tyrone Hill comes out.
Well, you have your offensive forces on the floor right now. If Olajuwon scores this one, you have 5 individuals that are going to have to be guarded closely.
Another thing Nelson has done is ice Olajuwon for about 15 to 20 seconds. He'll have one to tie. And he gets it. Game is tied at 116. Everybody's up in the summit. Here we go. Marciulionis with 7 seconds. Marciulionis with a shot. He missed it off the side of the backboard. And it's Houston's ball. Houston's ball. 2 seconds left. And Rudy T will use his final timeout. The Rockets with a chance to win it. Marciulionis thought the ball was deflected or he was hit on the arm, but the referee said no, it was not. And Marciulionis shot it up on the side of the backboard. All right, let's watch it again. Was he fouled, Calvin, or not? Here's Maxwell on him.
Yeah, he was fouled just a smidgen. Just a smidgen.
That's what Don Nelson thought, right?
I didn't see any blood, so therefore it couldn't have been too much of a foul.
Well, the Rockets get a break, no doubt about it. And the Rockets starters tonight have scored all but 9 of the 116 Houston points. And the Rockets with 2 seconds now left. And the Rockets, they have their option, don't they, to take the ball underneath or at midcourt?
And of course they're going to want to take it at midcourt.
Or at the free. Let's see, I think up to the free throw line. We'll see. They'll have 2 seconds left. Calvin, what do you call in this situation?
You get the ball into the hands of a guard that has the ability to penetrate or go to the basket, or you got Bullard that can spot up quickly and hit that long-range 3.
And Bullard is checking into the game. Defensively, if you're Golden State, you don't want any fouls here.
That's right. What you do is you back off and give them the outside shot. You don't want to foul in any stretch of the imagination with 2 seconds on the clock.
And 2 seconds is an eternity in the NBA now. And Bullard is in the game. Otis Thorpe now will bring it in from the far side.
Now look for Nelly to call another timeout when he sees the formation of the Rockets.
Askew is guarding Thorpe. Thorpe will bring it in. The Rockets, and a delay of the game is called on Golden State, and that's one way to check.
Yeah, he didn't call a timeout. He just simply had Askew step across the sideline and slow the play down.
Another delay of the game is a technical. Rockets got to get it in now. They don't have any timeouts left. They go to Olajuwon, who puts it up. Yes! Olajuwon wins the game for Houston! An incredible comeback for the Rockets!
Oh, my goodness!
You will never see another comeback like that one.
Unbelievable!
Unbeatable.
Unbeatable.
Olajuwon turns and fires. And the Rockets come from 19 points behind to win it in the second half. One of the greatest comebacks. And Rudy Tomjanovich, he can't hug enough people.
Oh, my goodness. Olajuwon wasted no time turning, catching, bouncing, turning, and perfect formation from the wrist. It was all wrist. I'm telling you, the man shot a shot of a lifetime.
And the last lead for Houston was at 10-8 with 9:04 left in the first period. The last lead is now at the end of the game. 118 to 116. Unbelievable finish.